lot of things goes on in the lion's den. You have a combination of animals, the gazelles, the zebras, the water buffaloes, the alligators, the hippos, and so on. Can't forget the hyenas. But throughout the lion's den, a lot of things go unknown or what really goes on. That lion, when he comes in to take over and want to build his own legacy, he let it be known from the jump start. You know, when a male lion wants to come in and procreate with a lion, he always kill off the cubs that was from a previous lion. And he wants to procreate with the lioness to create his own family. And that's kind of like a dynamic that we see today with the family structure. How most men or most women may not want to be a step parent to where I want to just have my own family with this particular person.
So the thing I've been finding out is that a lot of women start off having one mate, but then the system breaks down for whatever reason. Let's talk about cheating. So when the cheating takes place, that woman that once believed that she loved this man, and even though she has babies for him, it's time to let him go because now he's an enemy to the family.
Has it been like on your end to be a stepfather, to kind of take on this father figure for two kids that aren't your kids?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you're still not really their dad, right? And that's like, as a dad, like, you want to be the dad.
The lion comes in and kills and rebuilds. Anything that's 3 years or older, as far as the daughters, the sisters of the lioness, he will mate with them as well to keep the legacy and the pride going. Now, let's not look at it in a negative light to where he's killing off the cubs to where he's destroying them. Let's look at it from another aspect. And he's killing the cubs to where they won't grow up and be vengeful as far as you killed my father. So now I got to kill you. You know, that's how you keep the pride strong. You know, you kill off the cubs so you can build the legacy and the pride strong to where now you have created the foundation of a new generation.
The lioness, she submits. She submits to him, even though he has killed her son. But because he's the strong one and he's able to build something greater, she will accept it. Now, what happens in our everyday life as women, we allow a strong man to come in. And sometimes we will not even fight for our own children, even to the point where he comes in and he may molest not just our daughters, but also our sons. Being a human being, we are not allowed, or it is not acceptable for you to molest or form incest with the wife that you came in and married and with her sons and her daughters. It is unacceptable. What happens in the animal kingdom is in the animal kingdom, and by nature, it has its own laws. Human beings, we have our laws as well. Who's the hyena?
The hyena is the person that comes in and destroy a happy home. That's why we don't see a lot of stepfathers and stepmothers today, step parents in general. We see a high rising of single parenthood, and single parenthood is also has become the norm and has been practiced to where now it's considered normal over marriages, pretty much for most cases.
Separation. That's a little bit challenging. Like it's a little bit of a disconnect, especially when you don't, for 10 years they were raised by somebody else, and parenting styles are different, home dynamics.
Due to the bloodline, Once again, let's go back to that blood covenant. There was a blood covenant that transpired between the original parents. What happened is a time of purification can take place. And during her purification time and his purification time, and they're separated, another man can have him a set of children. And there may not be with him, but he's deeply involved in his children's lives. Here she comes in with her children, and they are in her life. And they can come in and they can blend. And now we don't have to deal with secrets. We don't have to deal with hidden sins. We now dealing with families working together and becoming a powerful a unit that is thriving in America today.
That kind of reminds me of with some siblings, um, they don't get along with one another due to it being the bloodline. So one might have a different father than the other father, and that bloodline tends to have a whole different type of vibe, a whole different type of energy versus the other bloodline, and things get hidden to where the parent don't want to talk about what really transpired to being conceived, that child being conceived into the world. The thing about pretty privilege, the dark side of it, I should say, is being lusted over and not loved. When a man meets a woman, we are seers. We like what we see. And truth be told, a lot of us, men and women, who say, I was dealing with a narcissist, actually have narcissistic ways. Because when we meet a person, we already have plans for them that they're unaware of. And those plans is to control the narrative of what we want and what we would like to see. And in order for a person to jump on board or be on the same program, they have to compromise that. And in order to compromise, you have to hide a part of you that's no longer you. Sometimes you get lost.
And you are correct. Only in the human world does that take place, because in the animal kingdom, that is not something that takes place. You are who you are in the animal kingdom.
I will be the best stepfather, stepmother. I will love your child as if it's my own. I already consider your child my child. If they jump into that bucket too quickly, make note of that, because it takes time, and you need to see them under pressure with your child. You need to see them in a place where the kid might be throwing temper tantrums, or might be getting bad grades, or might be more work than the narcissist is willing to put into a relationship. Remember, they want everything to be easy. So they will try to break up your relationship with your child, because to them, it's kind of like competition. When you've got a child and it's not theirs, that fake I can be their step parent kind of act, the mask, if you would, is going to be present, certainly in the beginning. But remember that through the time and as time passes, that a narcissist will reject the child because it's too much work. It's, if the child does something wrong, it's your fault. They don't accept responsibility, and they don't necessarily have to. I'm not saying that we need them to jump in and become instant mom or instant dad, but if that's the role they're playing, then they have to be there for better or for worse.
Hearing and through the eyes, mating rituals are performed. Once upon a time, growing up, I used to always see adults watching a lot of soap operas. They had to watch their stories. But as you watch those stories, they're painting a picture of love stories that transpire of who did what and how it was done. And, Tina was doing this, or John was doing that. I gotta catch my stories. In today's world, uh, reality shows, TV shows, and other things of that nature. Through music, it was slow jams. Back in the day, it might have been the Five Heartbeats, Temptations, or whatever people listen to. And today it's ratchet rap, you know, the Sexy Red, the City Girls, and so on. But those are the mating rituals of what we see today of what the generation has become. It's based off what we see and what we hear. And once we mate to that type of stuff, or we hear it playing to where it makes us feel some type of way to want to indulge in intimacy, it sparks and bring out something that can be demonic that may not be seen right at the time, but it's seen throughout the generations.
Yes, you are correct. As I look at the families of today, I look and I see that there's a change coming. And that change is coming because people want to be happy and they want to have children that are strong and vibrant and survival. This, little people that grows up into adulthood. That husband is able to say, please forgive me, I wronged you. And that woman is able to say, I forgive you, please forgive me, for I have wronged you. And the two become one. And as they become one, they lead the family to march ahead, to be stronger than they ever been before. We are able to do it. We are able to be successful in it because we are humans. We are of the human population and we will thrive. Now that you have identified the humans' mating rituals, please explain to me about the animal kingdom or the lion's den mating rituals.
Well, the lion's den, what goes on in their mating ritual is they mate up to 18 to 20 hours a day during their mating season. And the hyenas, all the males are not allowed to mate. Only the alpha males are allowed to mate during their mating season. So that's what goes on in the mating ritual of the lion's den. And always remember, time is not your friend.
Checkmate.